Are you ready for what's coming?
Coach Crandall with the teaser. What are you talking about, Willis?
I love that it's all dark. I think this is kind of a cool twist. We got kind of like a dark vibe going today. This is our first nighttime episode. It's very good. But no, I am definitely teasing. This is not going to be a long episode. We're excited to be with you this week, and we just want to share some of the stuff we've been working on and prepping and planning and getting ready to really help elevate our efforts to help you create great connections with your kids. And that's what's coming.
Which would include
all sorts of good stuff.
The
one website is operational. I almost feel like, in Star Wars, you will now witness the power of this fully operational website.
Yeah, we're still working on that, but we have some good help, and it's just going to get better and better. So that's create, transform, become, all one word, .com. Nate, there's something else I would like to encourage the listeners to do, especially our many new listeners that we are gathering. First of all, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is the name of our podcast. It's the name of our channel as well, the Stop Parenting and Start Coaching podcast.
Yep.
And so thanks for subscribing to that. But I would like to encourage our new listeners, if you've just hopped on to, episode 70 in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, go back to our first few episodes. I think our first 40 or so were all audio only, and then we went to video.
And we got fancy.
Yeah, but if you listen to the first few episodes, and we keep them all short, and if you speed them up to 2.0, you can get through
commuter
really fast.
Specials.
But we keep them short because we know you're busy. If you listen to those first 15 or 20, we really laid down some of our basic philosophy, our basic idea of why you need to stop parenting, in quotes, but not really stop being a parent, but just stop parenting and start coaching.
Stop treating your kids like they're the little ones that used a parent by telling them what to do and giving them more directions, and start coaching them like they're blooming adults.
Blooming adults. Was not expecting that. Usually when you say
sounds
blooming,
a Australian. It's a blooming onion.
Blooming onions, or usually it's blooming idiots. But
I was not going there.
You definitely were not going there. And if you want to know, speaking of blooming idiots, if you wanted to know a little bit more about us, Nate, you could go back and listen to episode 5. In a very short amount of time, we give a little background on who we are. And
it's a fun episode. You get to know us in kind of a fun way, and we just have a good time doing this.
It was fun for us. And if you don't have any fun with episode 5, then
the best thing you can do with episode 5, parents, go listen to episode 5, and then you go play some of those games with your kids.
Oh, there you go.
That you hear it. That's the best thing you could do as a parent, right there with episode 5.
That is the best thing we can do. Another thing that we have coming up, Nate, that I am super excited about, and we've already started doing it, and the episodes are currently in production right now. That is, we are going to start adding guests every month, and the frequency will just kind of depend on logistics. Sometimes it's hard to get 3 very busy people together, but we're going to do our best. And we have a lineup that extends clear to probably Thanksgiving and Christmas. We have just some incredible guests that are committed to being on the Stop Parenting and Start Coaching podcast.
Yep.
So I'm very excited about that. Coming up very, very soon.
Yep. And we're not going to let you know exactly who we have coming. Just know that there are some really great guests. They're going to add a lot of value to your relationships with your kids.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to learn a lot. We're going to bring on fun, interesting, very smart, and driven people. So I think the listeners are going to really enjoy that.
And I love the nerdy aspect. All the guests we're bringing on intellectually, like they get me fired up. And so they can bring it on all fronts, and you're going to leave definitely better prepared to help coach your kids.
Yes. We'll also do some laugh, think, and cry too, I'm sure. Because they're very interesting people. Okay, so Nate, I think we're going to wrap this up, but let's give the parents of our athletes and performers some juice. Let's give them some.
We'll finish up with a triple Q. We're going to go with a quick quote and question.
Oh, okay. I knew we were going to do a quote and question. You said the 3 Qs. I was thinking, what's the other one?
Q,
but
the quick.
But that's the adjective.
Mm-hmm.
The quick.
So,
okay, so
I hope that counts. I like it.
I'll go ahead and start. So, parents, I have a question for you. What's a belief about success that you need to unlearn to help you better show up for your teen?
That's a pretty complex question.
You like that one, Coach?
I do like that one. It's interesting because we don't often look at our beliefs about success and put them under that magnifying lens and say, is this a beneficial belief about success?
I agree. That's why we're asking it, because it's more common for you to insert the word failure where success is. I mean, that's something that's one that's often asked a lot. But we're flipping the script and the parents to go a little bit deeper. So think about a belief that you have about success that you need to unlearn in order to better show up for your team. And I'm going to turn the mic over to you, and you better deliver. Well, I know you are going to deliver. You got a good quote for us?
I got a good quote. This is a Crandall quote. So you're going to get something from me, kind of like the parenting is the hardest job and there's not a close second. But
it's my favorite.
I love that one too. I think it's total respect for parents because nobody ever gives you credit for how hard that job really is. Nothing can prepare you for that. But one of the things that we love to do as parents is help lift and build our kids up. And I'm a big fan of sending just quick, short little messages on a consistent basis just to help kids feel that you see them, that you recognize them, that you're sending something, and you never underestimate those quick little things that you send to them. And this is the quote, thinking about some of those messages that maybe you're thinking about sending your kid, but you don't want to be annoying. But this hopefully will help you look at it a different way. You're not just sending encouragement, you're creating sacred connections, a moment when your child remembers who they really are. And that's leadership, that's impact, and that's legacy. And that's what we at the Stop Parenting, Start Coaching podcast are all about, is helping you create that legacy as a parent where your kid's not going to remember that you were involved. They're going to remember that you cared about them and how much you actually loved and supported them through the process of them learning how to be the person that they've become.
Wow, you're making the hair stand up on my arms. That is definitely a Nate Crandall right there, for sure.
Thanks.
Absolutely
love doing this.
So Nate, I can tell you, I am very excited for the future of this podcast.
Are you ready for what's coming?
On behalf of Steve Galley, I'm Nate Crandall, and we thank you, our loyal listeners, for tuning into this episode. If you love what you're learning from the Stop Parenting and Start Coaching podcast, we would appreciate it very much if you would leave us a 5-star review and some glowing comments. We also encourage you to share this episode with your friends and family who are parents of athletes and performers. And if If you want to explore further and see what Steve and I are creating to help thousands of parents, athletes, and performers, please visit our company's website at createtransformbecome.com. That's createtransformbecome, all one word, .com. There you will find a growing number of resources to help you elevate your performance. Thank you again for your support, and we encourage you to create a magical relationship with your athlete and performer.